What is going on, Bears fans? Bear down. We are here to talk about the number one thing, and that's going to be Austin Booker. Now, you might have a whole lot of things that you think are very, very important. And we're going to talk about one of them later on that's real important. And I think we are suddenly letting down. Um, I think this team is going to let us down in a big way. I'm starting to get real nervous about, but it's early and we haven't really experienced any type of true adversity yet. It's getting a little bit nerve wracking, though, every day when I see the news coming out about it. We're going to talk about that. My question for you today, put it in the comment section after you hit that like button, is do you think Austin Booker will be a starter in the NFL this year? Do you think that at some point we're going to say, you know what, this guy's got too much potential and that he just passes Demarcus Walker on that depth chart and that we've got him going for every single down? I do want to know what you think in the comment section down below. Let's talk about it and let's break it down. And let's start with this. Austin Booker is absolutely turning heads right now. The NFL is seeing the product on the field. And look, there were a lot of surprises, by the way, in that Hall of Fame game. Brett Rippon had a really good game. Colin Johnson had a really good game. Khalil Herbert had a nice run or two or three. However, the biggest news from the game was really Austin Booker. And there's play after play after play where you just look at it and look, the guy's going against the twos. He's going against the threes. So there's some real possibility here that this might not be a testament of his ability yet. We'll probably need to see him come up against some ones to really kind of get an idea. However, he looked really good. Now, that does lead us to one more guy, and that is going to be Yannick Ngakoue, which we'll talk about him in just a few minutes as well. But again, hit that like button if you haven't already. This Ryan Poles said this, and this is where we get into what's really interesting, and the fact that you see what's happening here. And by the way, Jacob Robinson or Jacob Martin also looked pretty good. So this is a statement from Ryan Poles. He says, "I don't really see it as a defensive end problem. Our mindset's always, how can we make a position group the best we possibly can, make it as deep as we possibly can make it." So it's like I said, just really leaning on Travis and Eric to continue to develop the players that we have in and see how they do. We saw some really encouraging things during OTAs, but we all know this game is played in full pad, so we want to see that process through. Well, we got to the process. We didn't see any of the ones playing, but when it came to Austin Booker, what we really got was a sharp look at a guy who is emerging. And what does that emergence look like? Well, let's share the screen here, and you guys can see. Look at this thing playing out. This is him pushing people out of the way. This is Austin Booker on another play, just absolutely pushing the tackle into the play. Now, did he get to the ball? No, he did not get to the ball. That is important. We do want to we want people with the ball. But look at this. This is a go back to it. 1, 2, 3, quick release. So you're not going to get to the quarterback on a 1, 2, 3 quick release. But look at this. How close was he? I mean, this is a pocket that's collapsing around this quarterback, but even better. This is another play right here. And look at Austin Booker just coming in. Now, this is the fumble that was credited. I want to say it was credited to somebody else. But this is Austin Booker. You can see him. He's number 94. Bring that up. He's right here. If you can see that where my mouse is, he's circling the wagon, if you will. Look at that. He's the one that gets the contact there. He's not the one that gets the recovery. And then we have another play here. This is what he's doing. Look at this. He is pushing this guy into the quarterback. And this is a different play than the other play. This is play after play after play after play where we are seeing a dynamic player in Austin Booker. And here's the good part. The good part is he is clearly superior, at least for the Texans twos at the offensive tackle position. He's at least superior to that. Now, This Saturday, we're probably going to get a taste of what he would look like against some ones. Maybe we'll see some substitutions, get him in there. What does he look like when he's pushing against the best players? And we'll get an idea of that going forward. And it would be nice to see him bookend with Montez Sweat and have Gervon Dexter and Andrew Billings in the middle, seeing how they coalesce and can they coalesce. And also, I'm fascinated to see what DeMarcus Walker is going to look like. Been putting in a lot of work right now, looking good in camp. So, maybe, just maybe, this Austin Booker kid, he's going to be worth the wait, because it really looks like he's got it together at this point. But you know what we still need? We probably still need Yannick Ngakoue. I don't know that that's the case. Let's face it. Jacob Martin had a good game. As a matter of fact, I think it was Jacob Martin that got that fumble recovery. But if you look around, then and by the way, there was some rumors that Yannick Ngakoue was headed somewhere else a couple days ago. Nothing ever manifested off of that. We don't have an edge rusher who's ready. So until you have somebody who's ready, like Austin Booker, then you got to have the best player available. And the best player available looks at this point to be DeMarcus Walker, followed by Jacob Martin. And that kind of leaves us. We're talking about Montez Sweat. We're talking about DeMarcus Walker. We're talking about Austin Booker. And then we go to Jacob Martin and Dominic Robinson. Dominic Robinson, by the way, had a very good game. But again, this is going against the twos. How does he look when we get into the season and when we really need him? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. And I think at this point, there's some questions and concerns, but there's not questions with Yannick Ngakoue. We know he broke his ankle, but we also saw they really started to become. And by the way, I don't have any data to back this up. I just know the product that I saw on the field. He looked really good, or better than when he started the season when Montez Sweat came in. So now here's the question right now. Last year he was $10 million. The Bears are not in a position to pay $10 million. There's no reason to pay $10 million, not at this point. So his price is going to have to come down quite a bit. So there's going to be a question right now of could he step in at a reduced rate? And look, there are limited options. So are there other people out there that you would like to see? Well, there was Emmanuel Ogbah, but he's already signed. So you don't have too many options. So if you really want to shore up this position, Yannick Ngakoue is going to end up being the guy. He's just going to have to take. We're just going to have to take a pay cut. And right here, name a better option. There are you still have to fill a position, right? So who's better that's available that the Bears can get than Yannick Ngakoue? And if you have an answer for that, let's contact the team and reach out to get that person. Or do you want to stand pat? If you want to stand pat, cool. Also, I did hear that Connor Williams is on his way to Seattle right now. So it may be that he is signing with the Seahawks. So he might be off the table. However, we're going to be talking about him in just a few minutes as well. So just kind of watch for an update here. Look, on Saturday, if the Bears look dominant on the defensive front, all bets are off. Yannick Ngakoue, there's no reason. Unless there's an injury. If there's an injury, he can come in as an injury player. But, right now, we really need to see, we need to give ourselves every opportunity for success. And I do think you might, right, that's the point. There's nobody there other than Yannick Ngakoue. So if we have to fill a spot, we have to fill a roster spot on defensive end, he's probably the guy. We're just, and it's not because we want him that he's the greatest. It's because it's a lack of options and he's the best available option. So I'll be watching out for some kind of news about this. However, it really matters how much he would cost. And let's face this, in the last 4 games of the season without Yannick Ngakoue, this Bears defense gave up 20 points, 16 points, 17 points, and 17 points. This Bears defense is a lot better than people think right now. So, and that's without Yannick Ngakoue. That was with The only variance here was Justin Jones is gone, and Gervon Dexter has replaced him. But Montez Sweat should be better by virtue of being in the system a little bit longer. DeMarcus Walker should be better by virtue of being in the system a little bit longer. Gervon Dexter should have a significant second-year leap and probably fills in for Justin Jones admirably. And Andrew Billings is still constantly improving. And so we should see a better defensive line. And by the way, I do want to say this. I'm going to dare to say this right now. This defense feels like it's inspired. So we shall see whether or not this plays out. But as it says, wouldn't adding Yannick push someone else off the roster? Well, I mean, that is true. You would have to make some cuts, but we can't run with 4 running backs. I mean, we have to look at who's available and the best people on the roster. And look, one of the things that this guy, you might not know him right now, but you will know him one day. His name is Lord Crimson. The one thing that Lord Crimson told me a long time ago was you can never have too many people on your line. So we can't get picky and choosy at this point. And to be fair here, in the event that something like that were to happen, then what I would look to do is, because I'm looking for this opportunity already, is to move on from Khalil Herbert. Even though I think he's probably a great option, we're in the 4th year of the contract. He's there for $1 million. We know he's gone. He has no value to the Chicago Bears at this point, other than a change of pace guy. But I think Roschon Johnson also provides that opportunity. Is he as good? No, but he's $1 million. We got to get that contract off the record, and we could trade for another player to possibly fill out an offensive line position or a defensive line position. So there are some options that I would have. That would be my first one. So that would be, if I'm on a limited budget like the Bears are, that would be what I would be looking for, is that move right there. So, you know what I mean? And yeah, we didn't take the haul, which is, I mean, look, we can't rehash that forever. Here we are. But while we're here, HBO's Hard Knocks debuts tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we are going to see the thing that we've been watching on TV for a couple of days. We're going to see the meeting where Caleb Williams tells you how much his signing bonus was. And we get to see Tyson Bagent just absolutely freak out. We get, maybe we'll get a lot of fun out of this. So it's going to be a very interesting show that we watch. I think we're going to probably feel a little familiar. I don't know that we're going to get anything really too groundbreaking or earth-shattering in the first episode. Probably kind of laying the groundwork for where we are and what's going on. But I suspect that we're going to see some interesting things in the next coming weeks. So the schedule of the show is August 6th, August 13th, August 20, August 27, and the 5th and final episode will be September 3rd. All of them on Tuesdays. So be watching out for that. Make sure that you're tuning in tonight. I'll be interested to see how this thing plays out. And there's players that we're going to be watching. And the players to watch, obviously, Caleb Williams is going to be number one. How Keenan Allen is dealing with the trade to Chicago. Jonathan Owens, whose tiny wife, Simone Biles, just racking up medals at the Olympics. And then how does Roma Dunze react? How does Montez Sweat look? What's going on with Austin Booker? DJ Moore. There's a lot of interesting things. Gervon Dexter. We really want to see what's going on with Gervon Dexter. We want to dig in and figure it out. So make sure you tune in tonight. Should be a great time. Speaking of great times, hearing Jalen Johnson say it's bullshit when he was snubbed and left off of the top 100 players list was just absolutely awesome. The NFL Network's top 100 player list was revealed a couple days ago, and Jalen Johnson, the number 2 cornerback, arguably number 1 in all of football, is suddenly left off the list. Aaron Rodgers didn't play a single game last year and was voted a top 100 guy. Some of this is just a bit silly. Okay. When you start to break down number 100 player here, on the list here is Zaire Franklin, Levante David, Cam Hayward, Terry McLaurin, Deion Dawkins, Julian Love, Trevor Lawrence, Harrison Smith, Aaron Rodgers, Tariq Woolen, Devonta Smith. You're telling me that Jalen Johnson is not better than any of these people? I think somebody forgot about Jalen Johnson. I think that's what happened here. I mean, I really do think that somebody just forgot him, and yeah, I don't know where he would have factored in, but the fact that he came out immediately and said this is a bullshit list, it speaks volumes. I mean, and to be fair, the number one, who's the number one? Is it Jair Alexander? I mean, because that's a favorable matchup. When I'm looking at that, I would say that I would like the matchup there. But Tariq Woolen from the Seattle Seahawks, is he better? Can we say that he's better? Because he is currently ranked number 91. So if he's number 91, are you saying that he's better than Jalen Johnson, who was rated either number 1 or number 2 every single time? Like, this is, we're not making it up. And let's see, do we have any other cornerbacks in this little rotation here? We don't have too many, so I'm just going to kind of flip through here and see if there's anybody that kind of pings out on the radar other than Jair Alexander, because that was, I'm sure he is. Who's the other guy from the Jets? God damn it, now I can't remember his name. Ain't this a bitch? The Juicy McNasty or whatever his stupid name is, Tank, something like that. So it's I mean, maybe a fan contest or something like that. Kyle Hamilton is in this rank. Sauce Gardner, there you go. Sauce. So are we saying that Sauce Gardner is that guy? Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is rated as number 26. So, it doesn't make sense. The list doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It seems like it seems that it's kind of out of whack just a little bit. But seeing him come down on it, I liked it. Next up, listen, we might have a problem here, okay? I've said it. When I look at this offensive line, I don't have a problem with the offensive line. I would like to see, there's some changes. I mean, we can always argue we don't have the best team overall in the offensive line, but we get a team and they're very good. Maybe not great. I think that I think the problem, or I think part of the problem for the offensive line was how bad the quarterback play was last year and the year before. So, but here we are right now. And going across the board, you've got Braxton Jones, you've got Tevin Jenkins, you've got whomever it's going to be at the center position, Coleman Shelton or Ryan Bates, which is an upgrade no matter which one you go with. And you have Nate Davis and you have Darnell Wright. Well, so here is what's happening right now. On Sunday, Tevin Jenkins left the field with some undisclosed injury. Nate Davis was in full pads and participated, but he exited the field after a few plays and took his pads off, and he's working with the injured players. One of the other injured players, by the way, Darnell Wright. So 3 of the 5 offensive linemen that we are relying on are laying out right now with preseason injuries. What is it going to look like when we get to the regular season? Darnell Wright missed 3 straight practices. Tevin Jenkins came out. Nate is in and out and in and out and in and out. So, and by the way, we know that Nate Davis is not somebody who likes to practice. So we could make an argument that he's just doing that because he doesn't want to practice, maybe. However, what do we do after that? We've used Doug Kramer at the center position, which allows Coleman. And here's what I'm going to say: in the event, and this is going to be weird, but if Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis are both injured, Coleman Shelton, Ryan Bates, both sturdy, both durable, and then at center, it's going to have to be Doug Kramer, or we could use Matty Pryor at guard. He's also adept at playing guard position. So That would leave Ryan Bates, Coleman Shelton at um, left guard and center, and then Matty Pryor at right guard. So there are some options, but they're not the optimal options. The best option for this team right now is probably to reach out and find out if there's any deal that can be made with Connor Williams. If you make a deal with Connor Williams, it's going to be expensive, but you would have to, that would end the center quest. That would end the center quest, and that would allow Coleman Shelton and Ryan Bates to simply shift to the guard positions and start to challenge Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis for playing time. So Ryan Bates originally is a right guard, so that would be his natural position, if you will. So there is some real opportunity here. So even though Connor Williams is apparently going to meet with Seattle, there may not be. It might be time for Ryan Poles to make that phone call, and maybe just maybe we see something coming out in just a little while saying that has happened. Now, here's more great news. This is fantastic, by the way. We're going to go back to the offensive line to talk about how it builds up, but I wanted to say this one first. Jonathan Owens was asked a question, and the question, hilarious. During practice on August 4th, the Spectator questioned Owens about his former team, the Packers, and if he missed playing for them after switching to Chicago. And Jonathan Owens' response, absolutely not. So should be exciting. That's exactly how you get Bears fans to be Jonathan Owens fans, is by saying that. So shout out to Jonathan Owens. He gets it. Now let's go back to the offensive line just a little bit more. What does it look like in the event that something happens here, right? So if this breaks down, the players that you have, Bill Murray, Ryan Bates, Jatir Carter, Jerome Carvin, Matt Pryor. So you have some options. None of them are optimal. What is he supposed to say? You know what? Actually, here's the thing. He's not obligated. He doesn't work for you. He doesn't work for me. He doesn't work for the fans. He works for the team. So Aaron Rodgers can sit there and do an interview saying that he still likes to see the Packers beat the Bears, but Jonathan Owens couldn't say, "Look, I've always been a Green Bay fan, so I'm, I'm." And by the way, Julius Peppers, same thing. Left the Bears, went to the Green Bay Packers. So I mean, it's going to happen over time. But the fact that he came out and said absolutely not, that means that he was shutting down that discussion and indicating to people that he was not about to have it. That's exactly what you want to see. And guess what? That's not exactly what you see anymore. So the fact that he did was a great thing. So now, again, we're coming down to it. So the question is, who's going to protect? Who's going to protect Caleb Williams? Can Caleb Williams make quick decisions and protect himself a little bit? I think so. I think he's, I think he processes the game much faster. I saw some people on Twitter. They were, having a conversation about if you could go back in time and realize. So the offensive line is breaking down. If the offensive line is breaking down, what if you had traded down and gone to Jackson Powers Johnson and then started to rebuild both the defensive line and the offensive line, and you still had Justin Fields? And they were going back and asking some of the old people who had previously been like, you got to take Caleb Williams, or you got to do some other stuff, rebuild the line, rebuild the offensive line, rebuild the defensive line, stuff like that. And they're like, you know what? No, we've seen Caleb Williams in practice. We understand now, what it is that he is the number one pick, and he is the best player out there. He is going to be a game changer for Chicago. So even the people like myself, even the people who preferred to stick with Justin Fields, are being proven wrong by what Caleb Williams is showing on this field right now. So, we are in this great spot right now, and it's going to be precarious. It will be precarious, but I think that we've got enough people, we've got enough new coaches who are tuned in right now, and I think we've got enough inspired play in enough places that any kind of little struggles that we might be having right now, I don't think they're going to last. Again, if you shift out Coleman Shelton, Ryan Bates, then you've got your guard positions covered and you got your backups. You have to go with Doug Kramer. How does Doug Kramer hold up? I mean, he plays hard. That's the best I can say at this point. Matt Pryor, maybe we'll see something there at the guard position, allowing Ryan Bates to swing back into center. So I don't feel horrible about it. But what about the right guard position? Karana Magaji still, we still haven't seen what he can do. We're still waiting for some opportunities there. Braxton Jones, I mean, look, it's precarious at this point. It's precarious. So we shall see what we shall see over the next little while. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's all the time. Thank you for tuning in. Bear down. Fuck Green Bay. Thank you, Jonathan Owens, for what you just said. And guys, we got a couple more days before this next game. I think all eyes really are going to be on Caleb Williams. What does he look like? We're going to get super excited. Rome Adunzi, does he create separation? How does he look running his routes? Keenan Allen, has he lost a step? Is he still looking great? And can this defense get after the quarterback? We're not going to play for very long. We're only going to see a little bit of time. But does Austin Booker come in and does he continue to dominate? And if he does that, then again, overall, I think this is going to be great. I'm not changing it. 13-4. The Bears are going to go 13-4. They're going to win the division. They're going to be one of these elite teams that people are like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But yeah, I mean, here it is. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon.